Tasmania. So tonight there's a one-off T20 game just down the road here at Carrara Stadium on the Gold Coast. So I might see if the kids want to go and have a look at that later on tonight. We'll put on our South African accent to pretend that we're from South Africa. The Australian Golf Open at the Lakes Course in Sydney.
Yes.
There's a couple of Kiwis, the best placed of which is Gareth Patterson, tied for 17th, but Big Matt Kuchar from the US is 7 under, a couple of shots behind a Korean and another Australian on 8 under. And tonight, the Socceroos take on South Korea in a friendly. And another big one in 2 weeks' time, Anthony Mundine versus Jeff Horn up at Suncorp Stadium, the River City Rumble, they're calling it. Mundine and Jeff Horn. Should be a good one. I might go to that one, I think.
Now, is the Australian Open, is that being played in Sydney? I heard. Am I correct there?
At the Lakes Course, yep.
Yeah. Isn't it traditionally, well, from what I've known, at least, they've usually had it in Melbourne, haven't they? Or have they been able to move it around for quite some time now?
The Open, they move it around. The next tournament is called the Huntingdale Masters, which is the Australian equivalent of the US Masters.
Right.
Where they play for a gold jacket as opposed to a green jacket. And then the following week, so 2 weeks from now, is the the Australian PGA here at Royal Pines on the Gold Coast. So we've got tickets to go in a couple of days of that.
Oh, nice. That would be
We'll go and heckle a couple of the players.
As you do. It'd be rude not to, eh?
Encourage them, I say, encourage.
Yes, indeed. The Black Caps now, they had a shocking first innings against Pakistan, of course, over there, only notching up 153 runs. I don't even want to have a look to see how well they're doing so far. So I guess we'll kind of leave them out for the rest of the day anyway. Well, that pretty much brings us to the end of the show, people. Thanks once again for tuning in. However, before we do dismiss ourselves, I dare say that we've got one of our traditional things that we tend to go out on. One of the things that, certainly I look forward to, that is for sure. It's a particular part of the show that we tend to call Put the Boot In! Now, my Put the Boot In is going out to a lady who, up in Hamilton, who went and played the pokies for about an hour and 20 minutes whilst leaving a baby that she was a caregiver of in the car park in her car. And one of the parking attendants actually decided that they had to break into the car to help this baby. Now, not saying that it became dangerous for the baby. I mean, they still took the baby to the hospital, but that is just absolutely ridiculous. Apparently, the lady also won $500, so I guess that's great for her. But just seems like things are just getting a bit ridiculous when people are, just doing rubbish stuff like that, leaving their child in the car. So there we go. That is my Put the Boot In!
My Put the Boot In is going out to the faux pas of the month, which was in a local publication, which shall remain unnamed, but I'm sure everybody knows which one it is, for the little mistake of naming one of the comic world's most iconic artist writers, Stan Lee, as Spike Lee. And look, an easy mistake to make. I think Lee is something like the fifth most commonest name in the world. So anybody can make that mistake, I suppose. And if nothing else, it's been a bit of a laugh, not just here locally, but apparently all around the world. And look, I tell you, you sort of take your head off to these Spike Lee and also Stan Lee. They've done exceptionally well, and let's just hope that certain people in the media sort of just get their facts right. That's my Put the Boot In.
Put the Boot In!
Hey, my Put the Boot In goes back to last Monday morning watching the Kiwis beat and thrash the Ponds. Man, it was good to see. I tell you what, I enjoyed that game immensely. Actually, well worth waking up to on Monday morning. What I didn't like, though, was the English commentary at the end of it all. All they keep going and worrying about and talking about is the series. Who won the series? 2-0. That's all they acknowledge and talk. Didn't talk about the brilliance of the Kiwi players and how they played in England, had nothing to offer at the game. So they just kept going on about winning the series, and that's all they talked about. So my Put the Boot In goes into the English commentary.
Put the boot in!
My Put the Boot In goes out to our national carrier, Air New Zealand, recently ranked number 2 amongst airlines around the world for their latest safety video. It's entitled It's Kiwi, which is a bit of a ditty to the tune of Run DMC's It's Tricky. Well, it's not tricky, it's actually quite cringeworthy. It's just too much going on. When communication is being put across, it needs to be concise and understandable. And dare I say it, older people like Reno and Ra won't be able to understand this stupid little ditty video thing. You're sitting on a flight, you want to be, let's face it, they are the most boring parts of the flight when they talk and say, the gas mask will fall down, there's a whistle and a horn, bloody hell, you can blow on, blah, blah, blah. But this latest one from Air New Zealand, it's to a bit of a rap tune, and I think probably 70% of the population would say it's crap. That's my
Put the boot in! Totally agree with you there, JT. I totally agree with you. I remember seeing a video on that they brought out, and boy, it was really tricky to try and keep up with, what they were saying. I mean, it just seems ridiculous, doesn't it? And I suppose, I don't know if you're going to be coming back home anytime soon on in New Zealand, but I dare say you probably wouldn't want to listen to that rap, would you?
No, we haven't flown in New Zealand for a while, but one of the things we did used to, when we have travelled home with them in the past, is the fact that they say kia ora and welcome aboard, so you're heading home, it's a taste of home, but this wannabe American rap rubbish, no disrespect to Run DMC, they are pretty cool, but this is just, it's cringe-worthy.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. I completely agree. Now, Reno, I tell you what, with your one, can you remind me what it was again? What you'll put the boot in once again, bro?
Oh, it was someone.
Oh, the English commentators.
Strawberries at the Needles. Now someone's putting cocaine and bananas. No, the English commentary, bro. Rugby league, yeah. Bloody humbug, hoha fellas.
I think we might have had this discussion about them on Wednesday, and yeah, I think you were spot on about that, man. I think you were spot on about that.
I know one I should have put. I know what I should have did was the Japanese rugby players only getting paid $27.
Yes.
For the game, and the English getting paid $47,000.
Is that per game or for the whole?
It's just for the game that's been played Sunday morning, Japan versus England.
Yeah.
That's the difference in the pay they will be getting paid.
That's unreal, eh? Oh, poor guys. Wouldn't want to play for Japan. Not pay-wise, but maybe for pride. Go Japan. I'm going to go for Japan. What about you, Ra? Eh?
Yeah, well, those Japanese like us, how we record full-time, Keithy, we do it for love.
Yes.
We don't do it for the money. We don't do it for the fame. We don't do it for the accolades. We do it because we have nothing else better to do, I suppose. But, no, that is pretty kind of, disappointing, especially the Japanese. I mean, they're one of the wealthiest, if not one of the wealthiest countries in the world, so you'd expect a lot better, but in terms of those commentators, oh man, I'll tell you, you still can't beat Justin Marshall. He needs to go over the league. He needs to be a leaguey commentator to be put in this place, I think. I'm sure JT and them would like old Justin Marshall, man. He's such a realist, I'll tell you. He'd be great for the case.
We'll have Justin Marshall and Murray mixed in. Oh, look at the form of his backside. Come on, Murray. We know what you're thinking, pal.
Oh. Is he still alive?
Is he still alive? What are you talking about? Is he still alive? But I'll tell you, one of the things that was kind of ugly over the week was, of course, the Gisborne Herald. Now, that's the paper that you were trying to allude to, wasn't it?
Easy mistake, though, Keithy. I mean,
mistake?
Look at us. Look at us as sports commentator professionals. Even we have made the odd faux pas in terms of getting, a person's name wrong. But sadly, that didn't go viral or international. But look, I tell you, easy mistake to make, I suppose.
Okay, sure.
I was going to go give our show partially live, but it isn't live. But you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, no, well, I don't know what's going on at the Gisborne Herald, man. They had a bad day. They had a bad week, actually, I think, especially that day. Anyway, gentlemen, that is, pretty much wrapping us up today. Great to have you on board once again, Ra. look forward to catching up with you next time, bro?
Yeah, thanks, boys, and we'll do it all again in our midweek edition on Wednesday from Walkie.
Indeed we will. Wonderful to be able to catch up with you too, Reno. Enjoy the rest of the weekend, bro.
Yeah, we'll do, mate. Always a pleasure to talk with you guys on a Saturday, and we'll catch you on Wednesday. Off to Speedway tonight and motocross tomorrow. So everyone be safe. Have a good weekend.
And also, have another great weekend there, JT. Awesome to be able to catch up with you too once again.
Yeah, thanks, boys. It's good to be home. I'm on my week off at the moment, so I'm heading down to Broadbeach tomorrow to catch up with Bailey Mackey, have a couple of beers, and no doubt copious amounts of kaka will be spoken, mainly by him.